Women are never satisfied, and it's sad. Women are like a kid. Women are like the kids at the store. They want, right? The moment you give it to them, they play with it for a couple hours, then they get bored. Then they want something else. So that's the same thing she's doing to you. She wants you to do everything she's asking for. And the moment you give her everything she's asking for, she's still not satisfied. She's still looking for a reason to ask for more. She's still making you feel like you're not doing enough. Which is so crazy, right? This is prime example where men need to be able to understand a woman a lot better. You need to stop giving so much in to a woman, and you need to stop giving her so much. Because the more you give, the more she's going to feel like you're not doing enough. Which is so crazy, right? But the less that you do for her, then she'll appreciate you more. Women are backwards. Very backwards. And men need to be able to open up their eyes and realize this. Because you're making so much sacrifice for the woman that you love, but still in her mind, she still feels like you're not good enough. And you're not doing enough. So you know what she does when she feels unappreciated and she feels that you're not doing enough for her? She goes and feels like she needs to find another band that's on the level that she's looking for, right? So she keeps going through all these different men, but she still can't find the one. When the whole time you were the one, she's not going to find nothing better than you. So women need to learn how to appreciate what they have. If you have a man that stands behind you and is willing to do everything that you're asking to do, I mean, damn, y'all not perfect. But if you're still trying to make your woman happy and she's still not satisfied and she'd rather go find something else, then let her go. But watch, she's not going to find nothing better than you.
Okay, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you Akim out there that's been pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is going to be another lesson, getting into how these women think about men. And this is coming from the perspective of another woman. And the apostles and the elders, starting with the apostle Tahar on down, been saying for years that women are like children. Now you coming out now, you hear this coming straight from the horse's mouth, another woman. And they are like this because they've been given privilege after privilege in this empire that caters to women. The apostle Gabar brought out, I forgot the guy who he said that brought it out, but he said this society is a granocracy that caters towards women. A granocracy is a government of women for women. And that's what the apostle Gabar said. When you look at these men that run this government, they look like men, but inwardly, they women. Look what they do in the Bohemian Grove. Look what they do at the cremation of care. Look at the laws they pass. So they are likened unto women. That's why this society is considered a granocracy. A gynocracy. Now you have this woman out of her own mouth telling you that women are never satisfied. They're like kids. You could treat them nice, treat them how they want to be treated. But guess what? At the end of the day, she's still going to turn her back on you. The divorce rate in America is high, and guess who initiate the divorce rate? The divorces, the women, because they seek it for greener pasture on the other side, man. But we're approaching some heavy times. And all that shit that these women been doing, treating men bad, getting them for their money, getting them locked up. It was the thing in the late 90s and the early 2000s, whereas they had this domestic violence hotline where you can call and you could claim you've been physically abused, and they would put you in a shelter, and you would get your own apartment, you would get all type of goodies from the government. And a lot of women was using that and getting men and accusing men of abusing them and getting them locked up. And that was not the case. Just so they can get a free ride. They can get a come up and get their own apartment, do the domestic violence shelter, and destroyed a lot of men's lives. Called them, they're abusing them, abusing the children, just so they can get them government goodies. But now all that shit is coming to a streaking halt. That ain't going to happen no more. You see, the economy is bad. The infrastructure is bad. Esau is approaching the end of his society. So all them goodies is going down the drain. Salaki for the rant, but when you hear words coming from the horse's mouth, how these women are kids, and the apostles always said the women are like children. I can go into a whole lot of examples, but I'm just going to let the scripture speak. This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9, and it reads, "Rise up, ye women, that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters." How you going to hear the voice of the Lord? Do his prophets. And we out there warning you. We telling you what's coming down the pike. We telling you, don't do this, don't do that. Observe the high holy days. Valentine's Day is coming up. And a lot of men is going to be required to indulge in that pagan festival. A lot of men fall victim to what these women desires. But these women only use you as a bag. They don't love you. In fact, they despise you. They envy you. A lot of women has cock envy. A lot of women suffer from something they call cock envy. They want to be the man, but they're not the man. It says, back in Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women." Right now, these women walking around careless. You see a group of women at night. Hey, man, I go to work in the morning. I have to leave my house at 5 o'clock. And you see, not so much now, but in the summertime, a group of women, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 2, walking from a club or from a lounge, that's out there carelessly, getting drinks from different men, jumping in different men's cars, going to hotels, even though they got a man. And a lot of them women that be in them lounges and them bars, they got husbands or they got boyfriends. After work, they shoot over to the bar for ladies' night, but they get free drinks. Free drinks. Now they all disabled mentally from drinking. Now some dude come up on them, start talking. They inclined to what that man is saying. They go sleep on their husbands, and that's adultery. But that's the liberty these women has been given in this society. It says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gatherers shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare." And that's exactly what's happening right now, man. A lot of these women is being stripped of their goodies. Now, in certain states, they are not accepting, these homeowners are not accepting Section 8. So a lot of these women are going to be homeless. A lot of homeowners are not accepting Section 8 anymore. Because what happens is you have these women that have these unruly kids that tear up their property. So it doesn't benefit them to rent, accept Section 8 and rent these apartments to these women, single moms with these demonic children that's tearing up their house, man. So they don't accept Section 8 no more. So that's one of the major things how these women had a hedge over men, because it was easy for them to get an apartment. A lot of men moving with these women, they should be ruled by these women. Because you live under her rule, you live under her house, her rules. Your apartment, your house, your rules. So when a man moving with a woman, which is a bad mistake, you giving up your left nut or your right nut. You taking off your boxes and putting on some thongs. You're gonna become henpecked. Or another terminology is you're gonna become what's that word again? Is you're gonna become you're gonna be the word is on the tip of my tongue. You're gonna be wow, the word escapes me right now, but it'll come back to me, Lord willing. Oh, you become a tender dick. Brakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. Being controlled by your woman. It don't behoove a man to move in with a woman. Have your own. In some cases, go to a hotel when you meet a woman. Don't have her know your address. That's a bad idea. It says, tremble ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you, make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loin. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. You're gonna lament from not receiving all them goodies you once were receiving from the federal government. The federal government became you women's husband, mainly the black women on down to the Issacharite women. The women of the tribes, the government, so-called white man, has become your husband, your daddy, and your provider. But you love to shoot out your mouth that you are independent women. And you're not. Because you're dependent on the government. You're independent from the so-called black man, from the so-called Puerto Rican man, from the so-called Mexican man, but you are dependent on the government because you receive SNAP program every month. You receive Section 8, where they paying, if you got a 4-bedroom apartment, you only paying $150 and they paying the rest. All that shit is coming to a stop, man. It says, verse 13, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars. Yeah, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous city, because the palaces shall be forsaken. Man, in fact, that was the point right there. Because when you look at everything on a spiritual standpoint, the Lord allowed these things to happen. He allowed a woman to surpass a man in this society. And be put on that high pedestal. And for that, these women become they're like children. Like this woman's, the apostles was telling us that for years, and now you got a woman saying that women are like children. They make a man their boy toy. And when they get tired of playing with that boy toy, they throw him in a corner and seek another boy toy to conquer. This is how it is, man. These women don't love you. These women don't care about you. These women don't look for your benefit, for your welfare. They look for they are for themselves. Sure, half of these women don't even care about their children. They would have a son. They have so much hatred for the father that when they see their son, the son look just like the father, and they take their frustrations out on their son. The hatred they have for their father, I heard that. I've heard it. I've got cousins that said, you look just like your father. And treat their kids bad, treat their son bad because of they didn't get along with the father, or they did some bullshit and the father left them, taking care of his son, taking care of his daughter, but have nothing to do with the woman. And she would treat the daughter, because maybe perhaps the daughter's by another man, and she got a son by this dude, and she treating the daughter way better and treating the daughter better than she's treating her son because of the fact that he looked like his father. That's wickedness, man. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not avenge the set of soles of her feet upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband, of her bosom and toward her son. Because especially if the son looked like the father, and the father they broke up, and the father don't have nothing to do with her because she was wicked. She probably cheated on him, or was just a tyrant, a ball busting, never satisfied woman. So he got tired of that and broke out. But he take care of his son. But what she's going to do is, her eyes going to be evil towards her son because he looks like his father. And that's wickedness. And that's what these women do. It says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which will not avenge the set of soles of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young ones that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straightness wherewith thy enemy shall besiege. That enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And that happened during the time of 70 AD. During the time of the Flavian dynasty. Cannibalism is coming back. You better believe it. Cannibalism is part of the curses. Cannibalism is a part of the curses. A lot of these women is going to succumb to that. A lot of these women are going to eat their children. A lot of these women is going to get put to death horrifically. And make no mistakes about it, a lot of these women that wronged a lot of these men, that put them in jail, that locked them up forcefully with false accusations, a lot of them men is going to seek revenge. It's going to get bad out here. And especially for these women. It says, I'm going to go back. It says, for she shall eat them for want of all things. She shall eat her children, especially if she got a newborn. The baby's newborn or 2 or 3 years old. She's going to chop that baby up, gut him, and fricassee him, stew him, or fry him. It is what it is. Cannibalism is coming back on a large scale. It says, for want of all things, secretly in the siege. She's going to do these things secretly in the siege. And straightness, a position of difficulty that they're going to be put in, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. When there's martial law, there's no food, there's EMP attacks, there's no lights. These women they're going to do some horrific things. And that's judgment. That's judgment upon these women. You heard it from the horse's mouth. These women, they ain't for your welfare, man. They ain't for you. They out to do you dirty. They out to get over on you. And that's just how it is, man. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion, which represents Jerusalem, Israel, are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks. So how these women be jerking their necks around when they talking, all proud. Moreover, the Lord Yahweh said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking in ministers as they go, and making the tinkling with their feet. You could have a woman, you never tell me I don't walk by, and a woman could be walking with a man, she's dead looking me in my face, and she's walking with a man, perhaps holding hands with him. That shit is wicked. And that shit is off. I just turn my head and shake my head, man. Or I'm in my car, I'm driving at the light, a woman walking by, she got a man, she's all in my car, looking me all in my face. But you got a husband, you got a man walking with a man. That shit is disrespectful. I don't care if it's their cousin, their brother, their uncle. You shouldn't be doing that. It says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion. That's why these women making these Moabites, which are the Chinese, the so-called Chinese, which are really Moabites, rich of buying their wigs, buying their weaves, because the Lord smote the scab of their crown of their head with baldness. Let's read it again. Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls and their bronze tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the banquets and the ornaments of the legs and the head bands and the tablets and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisp pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veil. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink. That's why a lot of these women boxes is like crazy, man. A lot of these women, because they get ran through, they got different man's sperms up in them. And a lot of these women don't know how to take care of themselves hygienically. So when they get into having these different relationships with these different men, sleeping around in their 20s, and then when they get in their early 30s, mid 30s, they want to start thinking, I want to settle down. Now I want a man to take care of me. But meanwhile, you was just giving it away, being promiscuous. You got a body count of like 1,000, 2,000. Now you want somebody to wife you, which is insane. But you got a simp out there that would do that. You got a simp out there that would do that. And it shall come to pass, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Their boxes have been beat up, ran through, the walls is broken down, and most men gonna swim when they get into that. And that's why you got a lot of women with these bugged out personalities, because they're all the different sperm that's in them. It says, and instead of a girdle, a rent, meaning, I'm gonna read this again. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. Their boxes is wrinkled with odors. And instead of a girdle, a rent, meaning being out of shape. Your Lizzos, your average black women, or your average Hispanic women out there, your average Mexican women out there, short and round. And they expect you to wife them. And they want a man making over 100K. And they got children by different men. Now they want a simp to come in and raise their children. Be stepdad. Unbelievable. And instead of well set hair, baldness. And see, a lot of Latin women, the Hispanic women, from Ephraim on down, they ain't suffering from that. It's mainly directed towards the black women. And whether the southern tribes, I'm going to say Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. A lot of these Judah, Benjamin, Levi, they manly looking. No kind of feminine ways about them. It says, and instead of a stomach of girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty, ugly, fat, out of shape, box smelling like a bunch of dead hyenas. It's crazy. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. So you got to watch out for these women that's playing you like fiddles. Let's hear it again before I close it out.
Women are never satisfied, and it's sad. Women are like a kid. Women are like the kids at the store. They want, right? The moment you give it to them, they play with it for a couple hours, then they get bored. Then they want something else. So that's the same thing she's doing to you. She wants you to do everything she's asking for. And the moment you give her everything she's asking for, she's still not satisfied. She's still looking for a reason to ask for more. She's still making you feel like you're not doing enough. Which is so crazy, right? This is prime example where men need to be able to understand a woman a lot better. You need to stop giving so much into a woman, and you need to stop giving her so much. Because the more you give, the more she's going to feel like you're not doing enough, which is so crazy, right? But the less that you do for her, then she'll appreciate you more. Women are backwards, very backwards. And men need to be able to open up their eyes and realize this. Because you're making so much sacrifice for the woman that you love, but still in her mind, she still feels like you're not good enough and you're not doing enough. So you know what she does when she feels unappreciated and she feels that you're not doing enough for her? She goes and feels like she needs to find another man that's on the level that she's looking for, right? So she keeps going through all these different men, but she still can't find the one. When the whole time you were the one, she's not going to find nothing better than you. So women need to learn how to appreciate what they have. If you have a man that stands behind you and is willing to do everything that you're asking to do, I mean, damn, y'all not perfect. But if you're still trying to make your woman happy and she's still not satisfied and she'd rather go find something else, then let her go. But watch, she's not going to find nothing better than you.
There you have it. There you have it. You heard it out of the horse's mouth. Right from the horse's mouth. Everything you need to know. So with that, I hope they don't take this video down and give me a strike because she's speaking truth. I had this filtered through the scriptures. I brought out a few scriptures, so maybe they won't take it down. If they do, hey, what could I do about it? Abba Zayu Akimantu was edified, giving no praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.